Fuck's sakes, dude. Couldn't resist. Welcome to the All Angles podcast, everybody. Cookie, go do something awful to yourself. We are back this week. We got our sports episode coming up here. A few different topics we're going to be going over. Cookie, what do you got on your list over there?
Nothing.
All right, cool, man. Well, we're glad you're all here. You all have a great night.
I was supposed to say something. No, we've got a few topics. It is slightly, I know, surprise, surprise, a bit hockey heavy, but you'll understand why once we get there. And then, we talk about, we kind of skirt along some political lines, even though we've promised from the start we weren't going to do that, but you can't avoid some of it. Because we're going to talk soccer, probably not what you think. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk some baseball, probably what you think.
But not how you think it.
How you think it, yeah. The soccer one's really going to probably throw some people for a loop with the topic we've got. But, anyways. But, it's going to be fun.
Are we going to surprise them like a bicycle kick? Okay, here we go. I'm just clicking record before it's too late. We've already seen what happens.
We're just kind of going with the flow at this point. It's whatever.
I don't know why he's talking like that.
John has had massive technical issues tonight.
Self-inflicted.
I was about to say, I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to have to be the one.
I wanted to try and do this where people can watch us record live and then maybe spit topics at us or whatever. And what a mistake.
Yeah,
I'll take a day and figure it out. But
I'm gonna just go out on a limb at this point and say TikTok might not have been the way to go on that. Maybe Twitch or
I think it's just because I was just trying to do the audio while being live on there.
As far as I know, and I'm assuming this is correct. There's with the new thing where you can do a podcast on here maybe, but like there's no way for us to have like a chat room in Riverside while we're doing this, I'm assuming.
No, I mean, if you're doing it live, remember we did the YouTube live.
Yeah. But that was through YouTube, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
So we could do that or, like you said, Twitch or both. I mean, combination of all.
So maybe next week something we'll do. We're still going to try and get Julie to host a couple more MS episodes.
Julie, you crushed it.
She was great.
Bradley was great.
Yeah.
But Bradley,
we're mad at you.
We're mad at you, Bradley.
And that's also self-inflicted.
Yeah, we're mad at you.
No, Bradley was great. Does a lot of great stuff.
Watching you being all fit and in shape and stuff, and my fat ass is sitting here with no excuses.
He said his age. I about fell out of my chair.
I know. Damn it.
So he's doing a lot. Julie's got another person in Spain that's agreed to be on, but we have to find a day. I actually talked to somebody in Australia. She's got MS. I'm pretty sure she's new to her diagnosis. So we already know that episode's going to crush.
Yeah.
And even though MS month ends this month, we'll probably trail into March a little bit. We did miss a week.
Yeah.
That was Adam's fault. And Adam was in the live thing when all my stuff started having problems. So Adam is the antichrist of technology.
Adam is a technical glitch.
Yes, that's such a great way of putting it.
There's a guy I work with that I call the walking migraine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It all really does make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But, it seems we've gotten through the technical difficulties. We'll find out when we're done. But,
to be determined.
But, we do have our sports show, and we've been a little bit. I mean, this time of year gets kind of crazy. We're going to get into one of the reasons why. And this is kind of what I like about doing our own thing is if we have to miss a week, we have to miss a week. There's no one above us going, nope, blah, blah, blah. But So the first reason we're going to get into,
Sinbad might start sending more emails like, where the fuck are you guys?
yeah, honestly, I love Sinbad. Oh my God, Sinbad's going to be so happy when we have the Aussie girl on. But, so the first reason we're going to get into this, and Cookie, I got to say, as far as like sadness after exits of playoffs, this is probably the most down I've seen you. So it was the ACHA Nationals this year. Unfortunately, Cookie's Drury Panthers got bounced in their first game against Calvin, which had 2 upsets.
Yeah, it was technically the second, third round. Oh, the way we do it, it's a little awkward. I don't know.
Oh, true. In your first game, but it was the second round.
First round bye, but it almost, in a weird way, works out to. No, I guess it was a first round bye. Yeah, so it was we had a first round bye, so we were playing in the second round. As we were the number 6 seed in the country. Yeah. And, didn't go as planned or as expected. That's for sure.
And I mean, even after what I talked to you about, I mean, still going into overtime. And I think I would rather, this might be an unpopular belief. I would rather kind of get beat by 2 or 3 goals in regulation than lose in overtime. Because the heartbreak is way too sudden on an overtime loss. But I mean, I'm also far removed from the competitive level. So
I've also, Lozzie and I have also coached a team that got beat 14-1 in the first round of the national tournament. So I'm not sure either one of those is any worse or worse.
Well, I didn't say blown out. I said 2 or 3 goals.
I know. Well, then we got beat. I think it was 4-0 last year by Minot in the quarterfinals.
They went to the championship game, right?
Yes.
Against UNLV.
Yeah, it was them or Adrian. Yeah.
So yeah, Adrian looked really solid.
Unexpected result for sure. I was fairly convinced, and not saying a lot of this publicly as to not, make myself look like a fool. I don't believe in jinxes or anything like that. I just didn't want to, make myself look stupid. But I can admit now I was fully convinced we were going to, at minimum, make it to the semifinals. And which would have been, one better than we did last year. And then see where the chips fall. But, we full credit to Calvin University, but at the same time, we did not have our game.
Mm-hmm. And who knows what it could have came out of there, because they went on to upset Niagara, which is a solid team.
Yeah, they were number 1 in the country for a lot of the year, and then ended up 3.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem when you're a hiring team going into these one game. If you have a game where you're a little overconfident, which makes you careless and reckless, you can step in the hole one too many times.
Yeah, and I will say that wasn't the case. It wasn't an overconfidence thing. Nothing like that. We were prepared, did everything we needed to do. We just had 2 forward lines that were cooking, 2 plus 1 guy who were cooking. And then we had 1 line that was not terrible, but they were okay. And then 2 guys that were just not very good that day. And it was unfortunate because they're, 2 guys we definitely depend on a lot. And then of my 6D, 4 of them played great. 2 of them were okay. I hate to say that, but it's just, and I think they would agree, made some mistakes that they normally wouldn't make. And it cost us a couple of goals, but it is what it is. They're talented guys. One of them, is graduating. The other one's a freshman. He's going to, by the time he's said and done in his career with us, he's going to be one of the top defensemen in the country. He's already pretty high up there. The kid's a stud, absolute stud. He just had, one of those couple of moments. He had some great moments too, for sure. There's no denying it, but he had one definite costly one, which sucks because he's a stud. But we had forwards that just, for lack of a better term, just didn't show up.
How'd your seniors do after the game? Sorry, I'm yawning. How'd the seniors do after the game with?
Well, we only have the 2 seniors. One of them's our number 3 goalie.
Okay.
So you know, they were obviously upset. Our senior defenseman was really upset because he, you know, one of the goals was, I mean, as you know, there you can't pin a goal on one person, but he made the kind of the last play that could have, should have, would have kind of stopped things on that rush. And he, you know, frankly, he whiffed completely and against their best player, one of the best players in the country, and we paid the price. And
it's such a brutal timing to have the breakdown against a guy like that.
No, because it was early. I mean, as you know, we blew two goal leads. We were up 2-0, and they scored with the absolute, as you know, it's the absolute kick in the balls when you get scored on with less than a minute to go in the period. And actually, it was about 10 seconds to go.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. To make it 2-1 after one, you know, going in 2-0 we would have been riding high and feeling good. Going in 2-1, giving up a goal late, it's a backbreaker. We were able to go up 3-1, and then they came right back and tied it up. And ironically, you know, our first 7 to 10 minutes of the game, we dominated. Then it was a fairly even game after that. Even though they tied it up, we just weren't playing well. And that just goes to show you how good a team we do have. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Calvin, but we're so deep and so talented that even playing, frankly, one of our worst games of the year, you know, we still took the number 11 team to overtime, and we dominated the overtime. And
I watched the replay of it.
We controlled the play.
Yeah, somebody had the overtime replay because it was like, what, 16 minutes left or 9 minutes left? Which was it?
Oh no, the game winner was like 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
we had the longest overtime game of the tournament. And our goaltender played lights out, and it wasn't on him at all. He played great, and you know, we missed some opportunities in overtime that would have ended it, and they didn't miss their opportunity. We got kind of scrambling in our own zone, and they found a kid backdoor, and he scored his second goal of the entire season to beat us.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah,
it's timing.
How it went. And it's a bummer when it's a one and done scenario like that, especially in a game that not only you on paper supposed to win, but you know, in my mind, and I think a lot of people's minds, we were gonna win. And next thing you know, we're packing up the hotel an hour and a half after the game and headed back to Springfield before we even got started. So
yeah, that's always a tough one, and it sucks for the players, and it obviously sucks for the coaches because, I mean, coaching, and that's the flip side of it, is like there's two sides to coaching. And the middle part is just kind of where you live, but the highs of coaching, which for an example I could do, and I'm sure it's like when you won the championship when you're in Marquette. But for me, that same season was the high when we beat the number 10 team in Canada for Canadian Junior A hockey when I was coaching that team in Wisconsin. And I took it, and it wasn't me. I'm not going to sit here and say I was the reason for this, but like taking a team, we had 13 players because the guy before me couldn't recruit to a team that didn't have to pay to play and everything. And I had 13 guys, and I just brought in a couple good pieces. And we ended up beating the number 10 team in Canada and the number 15 team when we beat the Minnesota Iron Rangers, and number 10 at the time was Fort Francis over there across the border in Canada, which Fort Francis went to the championship game with RBC that year.
Yeah.
And so we ended up beating them twice in that season. So, but like that first win, because I got to the team, they were 0-20. And that was our first win against them. And you would have thought we won a championship game. And it was, you know, 60% way through the season. And, but then losing these big games, it's deflating, but in both aspects of it, I mean, you're kind of helpless in either way. Like you can motivate and you could try and keep guys motivated, but when you're a coach on the bench, you're not the guy in the play.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only say we have in anything once the game starts is who's going on the ice at any given time. And, you know, we had shortened the bench a bit at the last probably 10 minutes of regulation. But once overtime hit, you have to kind of open the bench back up because you don't know how long overtime is going to go.
Yeah.
And you can't just keep throwing the same 4 defensemen or 6 forwards out there. You got to get everybody involved again because, you know, if it goes, I mean, there was I think, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. They had a 5 overtime game at nationals. I mean, you got to, once you get to that point, especially if it doesn't end early, because anybody who knows hockey, it's either going to end quickly or you're going to be there a while. There's no kind of in between. And since once it doesn't end quickly, you might be in for a bit of a haul here. So everybody's got to play at that point. You got to trust guys are going to figure it out. And we had guys played well. But yeah, it's just it was a bummer. I think the part that had me so rattled, and I was rattled for days after. I'm only literally, this is Thursday, so we played Saturday. It's now Thursday. I'm just now starting to kind of perk up a bit. Is just the idea. And again, when I'm saying this, it sounds like I'm taking something away from Calvin, and I'm not. They played their hearts out. They're a good team. They've got one of the best players in the country on that team. Kid's a stud, no doubt. We kind of held him in check for the most part. I think he had an assist, and that was about it. But I would make the argument that it was more so we lost than they won.
Right.
And they would probably disagree, and that's fine. They have every right to disagree. Go for it, because you guys did great, and they had an unbelievable game the next night. So, yeah.
Which you can almost argue is like riding momentum of that win against you guys to take out an even higher ranked team of Niagara, because they were ranked higher than you guys, right?
Niagara number 3 in the country, and like I said, at one point for about a month and a half, 2 months, I want to say they were. I think. I don't remember how long, but I shouldn't say I think. I know they were the number 1 team in the country. So,
and Niagara is one of those anomaly teams too, because the rule is if you have an NCAA Division I program, you shouldn't be allowed to have an ACHA Division I program. But I think they had their ACHA team before they went D1.
They were kind of grandfathered in, if you will.
Yeah, Penn State. Did Penn State drop down out of D1 for ACHA? Or are they still D1? Because they had a D1 team.
I don't think they have D1 anymore.
Okay, because remember when actually
right, because I'm trying to find something here real quick while we're talking.
Because remember Hand's brother coached at Penn State ACHA.
Yeah.
Do you remember Jeremy Hand?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You'll see why I'm trying to pull this up here if I can. I don't know how this works on my computer. Oh, there we go. That's what I got to do. Yeah, it's I don't think Penn State still does. But Jeremy sent a note out to the boys, and we had some logistic things to cover, but he also brought up a good point that you're in that sort of scenario, you can't take a shift off. It's a one and done scenario, and as he said, the prime example in a one and done scenario is the teams ranked 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all got bounced before the semifinals.
Wow.
So you had 2, 4, 9, and 11, I guess. Does that sound right?
Well, Calvin was 11, I think.
Calvin was 11. They weren't in the semifinals, though. Or yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, you had 2 and 4. So that's Adrian and who was UNLV was 4, and then yeah,
that's right. I remember seeing UNLV lost.
Yeah, so it's we weren't the only high ranked team that had some disappointment. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate but pretty consistent part of the national tournament at any level.
For sure.
You got to be there. You got to be there the whole time. But
I mean, the only bonus on a situation like that, from a personal standpoint, is anytime you go to a big event like that, you know how it is. You get to see a lot of people you haven't seen in a while. I got to see some friends that I hadn't seen in a while, some coaching colleagues that I respect, and got to see a bunch of people. I just wish I had had more time to spend there. And
good thing you went a day early.
I was there. Yeah, I went up Thursday to watch Calvin play Rhode Island because we were playing the winner of that, and then the boys and Jeremy showed up Friday because we had a practice ice. Friday afternoon, and then we played Saturday afternoon. So
but we can transition into a championship feel good story, if you will, but down at the high school level. So I'm sure you remember I'm sure you know where I'm going with. In typical us fashion, we didn't really touch on what we were going to talk about today. But
we got multiple things to bring up because I got another hockey one after this and a question.
I have a hockey one too. It's kind of a question. I wonder if it's the same one. But the feel good story is and it's weird to say feel good because it comes with weight.
But I know I think people understand what you mean.
Yeah. So in Rhode Island,
there's multiple parts to the feel good of this too.
Yeah. In Rhode Island, there was the high school hockey game where a player of a kid that was actually on the ice, the father of a player who was on the ice, came in and opened fire on his own family, killing 4 or 5 people? You're muted.
Yeah, something like that. Multiple family members, and then
Yeah,
so.
And that of course, instead of anybody mourning the family or mourning the incident that happened, political people wanted to start chiming in on who he was, and he was an anomaly in itself because he was a transgender woman, but also had neo-Nazi tattoos. And I looked to see if those were AI, if those were proven false, but I think they're real. But
it's there's a lot to unwrap in that.
Yeah. But that's not the important part. The important part is like, so the coach sounded like he did a great thing after it happened. Like he opened it up to any of the players who didn't want to come back to the team, said, you're welcome to not come back to the team. It's understandably a traumatic event. Yeah. And they're high school kids. And this isn't like junior A hockey. This is like high school hockey in Rhode Island where it's not a top tier level of high school hockey.
Right.
So there's more pride in playing for the school in areas like that. However, he opened it up to say, if you don't want to come back, you don't have to come back. He made sure all the players got 10 days of counseling, everything included to take care of these guys, which is great. And then the coach reached out to the player. His name was Colin Dorgan. Reached out to the player and said, hey, it's up to you if you want to come. And I guess the coach said he waited all day. And then at like 9:00 that night said, I'll see you tomorrow at practice. And something you and I can absolutely relate to. I'm not so much of going through a tragic event like that, but using hockey as a distraction, using hockey as your outlet. And it would be that way for any sport. He came in, I believe he scored either an overtime goal or game winning goal to send him to the championship game.
Yeah, it was the overtime game winner. Yeah.
And then they won the state championship there. I think he scored in that game. I don't know what point, but it's great. The teammates are there to support him. For him to show up and produce is awesome as well. Cause I don't care how good of a player you are, to carry around that kind of weight is a lot to ask of a high school kid.
Yeah.
And not even and again, this doesn't take anything away from it, but like you have kids who are top prospects, NHL prospects, junior prospects, college prospects, they carry a different level of maturity, which is why they're recruited the way they are. Yeah. But this kid is just a normal high school kid and came in and produced and helped his team win a state championship. And it's, again, so many layers of the story that is, but for him to come in and do that is a pretty phenomenal feat.
Yeah, it was special. You and I dealt with a situation in New Mexico. It wasn't a direct family member involved, but it was friends of the family when
Sandy Hook
happened, and I
think we talked about this on an episode a little bit.
Yeah, with Lando and
Troy.
We had what's that?
Lando and Troy both went there. Yeah,
we had a couple players from the area, and one in particular, his parents were good friends with parents of one of the victims there. So, and that happened while he was in New Mexico with us, and we sat down and said, hey, if you guys need to go home, we'll help you get there. Hockey's secondary right now. You don't need to stay here if you don't want to. But like you said, they kind of, as a family, decided for them to stay and use hockey as their way to kind of cope and get through it and get their mind off of other things. And when they weren't on the ice, they could, have those conversations with family and who they needed to. So, that happened while we were, right at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
It was early on in the season when we were in New Mexico.
And I remember Blue did a good job of being there for them.
Yeah.
Through that. And and Dakota went through his own trauma when he was younger with the Hurricane Katrina. And his dad was a firefighter. Now Blue's a firefighter, but you know, he knows what it's like to deal with something pretty tragic like that. So it was actually good to.
Well, we had, and it, again, this was even to a smaller extent because he was incredibly young at the time, but old enough, I think, as we talked to him to kind of know what's going on, and his family knew people too. Is I think it was Doty that had, you know, he's from Littleton and knew people, or not him personally, but his family knew of some people involved in the Columbine situation too. So. Yeah, it's you know, we talked about some of this you know, when we had Becky on a while back, but it's a tragic story, obviously, with what happened, but even in that tragedy, there's that glimmer of hope in the end, and a really special kind of ending to a senior hockey season. And you know, now he can kind of reset and get on with life.
Yeah, I mean, he still got to finish his senior year.
Yeah.
And it's
assuming go off to college, whether or not any more high-level hockey's in his future, who knows? I have no idea, but at the very least, he's going to have hockey to play as an adult his whole life, and you know, it's you know, it'll be good. It's like you said, any sport like that, it's a good escape. It's a good escape from reality, although reality can, as we're going to talk about here in a bit, reality can jump right in the middle of it too.
Yes, jumps right down your throat.
Yeah.
With that, before I have a couple more hockey things here.
I have one, and there's a question related to it.
So I'm going to say my thing, and I feel like you might be talking about the same thing, and if not, there's a second topic. But my thing is the whole there's a little bit of a debate out there right now with Hughes wanting the puck.
Definitely not the same thing.
Okay. So Hughes wants the puck, and when I first read the quote, I was pretty surprised, and I thought it was fake. And then at first I was like, I wasn't taking it as he wanted the puck at his house. I thought maybe he wanted it here in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame or something like that. But and for those who don't know, Jack Hughes that scored the game-winning goal in the Olympics for the men's hockey team. The puck went to the NHL Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, and he's up in arms about it. And I didn't know that's where Sid's golden goal puck went. And Sid, I went back and read an old quote by Sid and handled it exactly how you'd expect Sidney Crosby to handle it.
I'm literally looking at the quote right now, so we're sure you're going to bring that up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just typical Sidney Crosby fashion. Like what do you say? He didn't even think about it, and he's glad it's there. And
he was just glad he scored the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was all about the game and the team. And like I said, I've crossed paths with Crosby a couple times, and every time I'm like, I hate that people hate him because he's such world class. But Jack Hughes is like, it's bullshit. He wants it back, and I'm sure he's thinking more of I can't even say he wants it on his shelf at home, but I think he's just a little perturbed. It's not here in the States. And a funny side note is we had the Capitals game last night. One of the other photographers in there said something funny, and this isn't related to anything. And he's a wildly intelligent person, so it was funny to hear when he goes, because we just got done saying it's at the Hall of Fame in Toronto, and he goes like, where's the Hockey Hall of Fame? Is that in the U.S.?
Well, there are some people that will tell you Toronto's basically an American city.
Yeah, right. It's across the lake. But this guy is a pretty internationally known photographer. He was with the Washington Post forever until they cut their photographers. I always joke because he's a bit older. I always like give him a hard time, and then I always ask him, he's like, "What was it like covering Lincoln's assassination?" And
you've used that on him as well.
Yeah, he's a little bit older than you by a lot, and but phenomenal photographer, and I get along with him. It was just kind of funny when he said that because I was like it was one of those ones that just catches you like, what?
Yeah,
But yeah, so what's your thing? I'm pretty interested.
Oh, mine's simple. The puck is where it needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree with it now when I stepped back and looked at the whole thing. But
yeah, no, it's the Hockey Hall of Fame is not the Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame. It's the Hockey Hall of Fame. The only possible argument that could be made is not in Jack Hughes' home, and I have nothing. I've said it many times in here. I've got a past with their mother. Not like that, people. I grew up with her
I didn't even think about it that way until you like made your own retort.
There's going to be some jackass on here that's going to think I meant it that way. Not at all.
Yeah, no.
She was a stud hockey player, grew up in Dallas. Anyways, but she, or the only possible argument, which isn't in my eyes, not even an argument, but if he ever wanted to make the argument, is there is a U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in Minnesota.
Yep. That's kind of where I was going with it when I first heard about it, but
it's such a very tiny place. I've driven by it many times. You probably did too, and people in Minnesota have probably driven by without even realizing it's this little. Now I do understand it is moving. I think they're finally expanding it and is moving, but it's in a small town. But anyway, so yeah, no, the Hockey Hall of Fame is a special place. That's where things like that belong. And you know what? If you want to go see your puck, go to Toronto and go find it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I've actually never been to the Hall of Fame.
I haven't either. I haven't been to any of them. I really want to go to Cooperstown. I'm sure you've been there at this point.
I played there a bunch too. Yeah.
I want to go to Cooperstown. I do want to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I don't really care about. Well, I shouldn't say that. I want to go to the NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame for one reason only, and it's because of hopefully a guest we're going to have on at some point. I need to reach out to her, but my friend Dr. Jen Welter has a display in there as being the first female coach in NFL history.
Oh, really? I was there. It was probably 2019. I went there when I was out and work with my friend. And it's nowhere near as big as you think it'd be.
No, I've seen pictures of it. It doesn't look big at all.
No, very nice, but it's not.
And I've driven past the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. I've driven by there. I'm not a basketball guy. I don't really have that much desire, although it'd still probably be pretty cool to see the history. But the hockey and baseball ones for sure, and to go see Jen's piece in the
football
Pro Football Hall of Fame would be pretty special.
Yep. The Baseball Hall of Fame, I mean, I haven't been there since I was in high school, but Cooperstown was 40 minutes for me.
That's actually, and this is you and I. We've had people who've listened to this know this about you and I. The Cooperstown for me is more of a bucket list than the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah. And that's just, I want to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame for obvious reasons, but Cooperstown is like, it would be like Mecca for me. I want to go to Cooperstown really bad.
Yeah. Like I said, I've gotten to play at Doubleday, their field there a bunch, especially in Legion ball. And it's funny because it's a pretty standard baseball field, but to play there is kind of a cool thing.
They play the Hall of Fame game in the NFL every preseason. It's like a high school stadium. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, it's not. It's like a Texas high school stadium. To be fair, it's pretty big.
No, I think it's smaller than that.
Well, I mean, to some Texas ones for sure. It's probably about the size of the Mesquite
Texas
Stadium.
Yeah.
It's probably about the size of the Mesquite Stadium. But it's pretty cool. But the Doubleday field it's a cool place to play. I did hit a home run there. So that will live in my.
Not all about you, John.
It is for this. But the other cool thing is for the Hockey Hall of Fame, I've met both keepers of the cup, obviously, when the cup comes to Capitol Hill here. Both have told me anytime I'm there to reach out to them, and they'll get us, they'll get me and whoever I'm with a private tour, like the back rooms where they keep all the special sticks.
Sounds like All Angles Podcast is headed to Toronto.
I mean, it should be anyway. I just got chills.
Well, I know it should be. Anyway.
Total chills thinking about that. But yeah, it's.
And by the way, we'll have more coming up. We haven't even, with everything going on, even John and I haven't even talked much about what's coming up in Nashville in a couple months, but that is still happening. We've got a lot to do.
Yep.
Getting all of you watching involved, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that.
Honestly, expect to start hearing more about it next week because the preparations have to begin.
Yes.
I have been telling people we're going to that, and it's a pretty cool thing.
I'm actually going to be there 2 weeks prior. I hadn't even told you that. I'm going to be there back-to-back trips because I am absolutely 100% going to the ACHA League meetings this year because there's going to be drama, and I want to be there to watch it.
Cookie's going in like a Kardashian.
I can't wait. I'm going to have my popcorn ready.
Damn, now I want to go.
But I do have my other hockey thing, and there's multiple parts to this. First is an apology to Abby. Sorry about the Steelers. Shut up, John. But also a huge congratulations to Alex. Congratulations to her champion Nottingham Nottingham,
Notting
whatever.
Hills. Notting Hill is where there was a cute love story between
Nottingham.
Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I know. Great movie, by the way.
Outstanding movie.
But here's the question about this. And so Nottingham won the Challenge Cup.
They have a couple championships.
Congratulations to you for winning the Challenge Cup. Now back to the regular season. What? Is this the new NBA in-season tournament thing? What is happening?
They've been doing this for a while, and I've asked questions about it, and I don't get it.
Because I knew I wanted to bring it up mainly so you could give Abby a hard time because you're a jerk.
Yeah.
But so I go to the league site and see, the first story is highlights from Challenge Cup final. They went all this, and then I look up and there's a whole list of games coming up starting Saturday. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that was the championship.
But are they playing other teams in that league, or because there's the next cup is like they'll play teams like there's CHL, there's a CHL out there.
Sheffield is playing Nottingham on Saturday.
I don't understand.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
really
Abby even
confused.
posted like, "Oh, great end to the season," or on her story. Abby, what the hell?
I mean, I don't get it. And yet, then you go to like the league standings and they've got like the X by 8 of the 10 teams, just meaning they made the playoffs. The Dundee Stars and the Fife Flyers. By the way, the Fife Flyers, that's a whole podcast in itself.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole other podcast. We might have to delve into the Fife Flyers.
So, did Abby tell you a little bit of the history of them? Like how they had problems with like certain nights honoring different groups, and
that's what I'm saying. They're a shit show.
Yep, that's where Lucic went.
They're not yet. He's gone now.
Is he finally?
Oh yeah, he bolted. But anyway, so Dundee and Fife are 9 and 10. They don't have the X by them as if they're making the playoffs, and they've all played at this point 40. Well, see, some have played 46 games. Some are as many as 48 games. Yet Dundee plays Saturday. Fife plays Saturday. So it's not playoffs yet. It's still regular season. They just had the Challenge Cup, but we're still in the regular season. It feels like the NBA's in-season tournament they started.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I'm going to need someone to explain this to me. Abby, Alex, somebody.
And so, and I mean,
Alex is very new to hockey, I think.
Yeah.
Abby's been in it for a while, so maybe she knows, but I know Alex is new to it. Or the pictures of her son were hilarious from the championship game. They were there.
Yeah.
He was having a blast, which was awesome.
And honestly, that's my favorite part about it. Like, enjoy playing, like, enjoy taking these kids to games. Like, get the kids to the game.
Yeah.
Let them see how fun it is. Because hockey games, and again, we sound so biased. Hockey games are such a family event just because, like, as much as Cookie and I love baseball, there's a lot of dead spots in baseball.
Which kids get bored easily.
Yep. And then especially now where they got this pitch challenge thing. They wanted to speed up the game, but then they added this. It's going to slow it back down. But anyway, but with hockey, there's something. And every time there's a stoppage in play, especially teams that do it right, you have an in-arena announcer doing something or during TV timeouts or doing T-shirt tosses and stuff like that. It's always something happening in a game.
It's like the only type of baseball that kids would enjoy is minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball always has something fun going on.
Yep.
Major league baseball, it's just so corporate. And I don't get me wrong, I still love it.
Mm-hmm.
My Rangers have done something recently that I'm not a fan of, but that's probably a topic for another day. And the other thing about hockey that we've said over and over until we're blue in the face, and anybody who's a hockey person will say it as well, go to a game.
Yeah.
It's a different experience when you go to the game. You can't and hockey's great on TV. It's perfectly fine. People that aren't hockey people have a hard time following the puck on TV. Hell, at times I do too. TV does not do it justice. You don't get an idea. As fast as it may look on TV, it will double when you see it in person. The speed, the physicality, it's just
the noise of it. I mean,
yeah.
and honestly, I will say this is even to
and yes, we are biased. It's for obvious reasons.
But even to the ACHA level, like I watch a lot of your games, and even the games you didn't have a huge draw, it's still loud. People are involved. There's a lot of cheering going on. But I can tell you this is I think one of the most unbelievable noises and rushes you get is when a home team scores in the NHL. The noise of it, I mean, right now the Capitals are sitting kind of out of a playoff spot. Like it's going to be tough if
It's a pretty cool night last night, though.
But yeah, and like last night, Cole Hudson made his NHL debut. Last week, he played in his final college hockey game for BU and came out, did his rookie lap, which was pretty awesome.
Another one of those big differences in hockey and every other sport.
Yeah.
This time of year, a lot of these college guys are making the move.
Yep.
Right? Like as we speak, Cole Hudson was the most recent. I'm sure might be some tonight.
There's a guy who's recently signed with the Islanders. I think they just had to finish up his contract.
There's a guy that went to Toronto.
Yep. But yeah, but Hudson came and they started him. He started the game last night, and Carberry said he's like, I just want to get him in and involved as soon as possible. Let me tell you, this kid,
he's stud.
He talked about how nervous he was all game. He looked amazing.
He's stud. I loved when he got the goal, the empty netter.
Yep.
And you look over, and I know Ovi was on the ice. I couldn't tell I was playing the wing.
Connor McMichael.
Was it McMichael? Because he's just pointing at the net. Like, you better shoot this damn puck.
If you look at my photos of that goal, because he's coming my way.
Yeah.
Look at my photos. I'm shooting at him, but I wish to God, like, you can see me in the picture.
Oh, it's so funny because everybody's just pointing. Shoot the puck.
My camera's pointing at Cole coming down, just holding the button. But I'm looking at McMichael because he caught my attention by him going like this.
Yeah.
And as soon as he scores, you see McMichael chase the puck down.
And then Ovi, you get your first career NHL goal, and the first person to come hug you is the greatest goal scorer in the history
and
of
he
hockey.
mobbed him. Like you would have thought Ovi, if you look at, again, I'll post my picture.
Ovi celebrates every goal like it's the first goal for himself, much less someone else.
Which is something that's another amazing thing about hockey, by the way.
It's the joy of hockey, and I give you a hard time about Ovi all the time, but you cannot take away the fact the guy just is, and this is 99.9% of the guys that play it, just has a joy.
Yeah.
I don't even call it passion anymore. It's something else. It's just a joy for playing hockey. Although there was a great stat, I don't know if you saw it. He is yet to be on the ice for a face-off in the defensive zone this year.
And I'm wondering how that goes because he's taken a couple defensive zone face-offs on icings.
I was going to say, it's got to be icings. I think they mean they don't put him out there.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. But I don't know.
And there was the other argument that, who was it, Cole Caulfield,
hasn't scored an empty netter yet.
Scored an empty netter, but what's his nuts has 5 of them. Like, yeah, but he's so bad defensively, they're not putting him on the ice when the goalie's pulled.
No, I mean, and you look back into history when Ovi was younger. I mean, he's out there. It didn't matter where the faceoff was. You're putting him out there.
Well, he's a physical presence.
Oh my God, he still hits
hit people, but he doesn't want to, and I get it.
Yeah, I mean, he still does. I mean, he has a couple big hits every game.
Yeah. He laid a guy out in front of the net last night when I was watching the 10 minutes I was watching.
There was, I think the player, I think it was Spence.
Right down in front of you.
Or one of the cousins. Yeah, he hit a guy there, but there's another guy where kind of took a shot at Ovi, and Ovi turned around and gave him a good whack.
Yeah.
And the referee's looking right at it. The referee's in his head is probably like, you hit Ovi first, you dummy. What are you doing?
Yeah. A big, strong Russian. He's going to dummy you.
Like, yeah, he's like, don't engage with that. But it's honestly, that's been the most fun about it is like the whole Ovi thing. But yeah, Ovi mobbed Hudson. And then Ryan Leonard scored his first goal on an empty netter in the game that Ovi tied the goal scoring record.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
So Leonard went up to Hudson in the locker room last night because I had to get the puck picture. And Leonard goes up to Hudson in the locker room and goes, "Welcome to the empty net club." and because Leonard did the same thing last year. He went from BC, which how's that for a pretty cool thing? You got these two, a BC and a BU guy hugging it out.
Yeah.
It's they were all like Hudson was the last one in the locker room last night because he gave his post game interview and stuff like that. And they tried to do the silent treatment, but everybody started roaring for him the moment he walked in.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty cool thing. But yeah, the funniest thing was McMichael. And even in Hudson's interview, Hudson said, McMichael, I couldn't have passed it to him if I wanted to. He's like, he didn't put a stick on the ice. His hands were in the air telling me to shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah. And when they announced Hudson as a starter, welcome to the All Tangents podcast. When they announced Hudson as a starter, the crowd roared for this rook.
He's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
Man.
He was so good. And all he talked about was how nervous he was. And I was like, you fooled me.
I texted you, and because I've seen him play quite a bit in college too.
Mhm.
He's just he's a very mature player.
Mhm.
He's so smooth.
It's like his brother. I mean, they're both unbelievable players. Well, and there's another brother that I think he plays for Edmonton's minor league team.
Yeah. Well, let me we'll get to the other stuff. I have one final hockey thing here that's on a sad note. And and we may talk about this more on another episode down the line because it kind of follows along one of our bigger themes here. But sad news in the world of hockey, ice and inline, the last 24 hours or so.
Yep.
That Per Mars, and most of you will not know who that is. I know the company, obviously. I never knew the name of the founder, but Per Mars, who founded Mars Blade. And if any of you that, especially inline in particular, have skated inline, have probably come across Mars Blades or using Mars Blades. He's the founder of Mars Blade.
It was a pretty unreal and amazing concept he had.
Yeah.
To get the feel of ice into roller, and it was basically like adding a rocker kind of thing.
Adding a rocker, yeah. Now he made more of a name, I would say, in the inline side of things for obvious reasons, but he had ice an influence there as well to a bit of a smaller extent. But sadly, he passed away. I don't know how we do this on YouTube, but he unalived himself. We'll put it that way. I've been dealing with some mental health issues, and unfortunately, took his own life yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it was announced. It happened on Friday the 13th, ironically.
Yeah.
Or not ironically, if you will. So we bring that up, and we'll get into some other important stories here too. But just wanted to remind everybody, to look out, as the Violent Gentlemen guys say, check on your teammates.
Yeah.
Look out for those around you. We said it. I think it was the last time you and I and Julie were together a couple of weeks ago. We said, when your friends get silent, that's reach out, make sure they're doing okay. Because if there's someone that doesn't necessarily go silent that often, which I personally do, but that's just kind of who I am from a personality standpoint. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but even then, I know I can count on guys like you and Jeremy and Brian and Tyler and people close to me to reach out, just say, you doing okay? Yeah, just kind of chilling. Just don't feel like talking. But that's all it takes sometimes. Just reach out to your friends and loved ones. Make sure everybody's doing all right, because you never know. And like I said, that's kind of a broader theme of what we're doing here, what John's been doing for a long time with his Mental Health Mondays. And so, yeah. I actually didn't know about that until you sent me the post. And obviously, like you, I knew the company, but I did know the name because Johnny Schiavo worked with him directly a bunch of times. And so John had a pretty, like you tell John was beat up about it. He had a pretty heartfelt post about it. Yeah, Tanner did as well, I saw.
Yeah. And so, the guy, and actually that kind of speaks volumes of who he was too. I don't know anything about him, but you hear about the company, you don't hear about the company's owner. Like, he worked with these guys and he focused on bringing the product out there, not like, hey, look at me.
That was the thing. You've heard about the brand for a long time, and you've never heard anything bad about the brand.
Yeah.
Like, even the big names that are out there, and they put out great equipment, but there's always something, like whether they're charging too much, or they're just being assholes to vendors, or they're doing this and that, or the quality of the product isn't necessarily that great. You never heard a bad, and still don't. I shouldn't say never, because the company's still there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
If anything, I hope people take advantage and go and support the company even more now, and as a tribute to what he created. But it's you never heard anything about poor quality product, poor service, poor anything. He just built something. He was an innovator, because, as you said, it was an innovation what he did in inline. He tried to bring it to ice. Not quite the same, it was a little funky, but he tried something new, and who's going to argue that?
And obviously a lot of it worked. Like, I think the whole concept of the rocker with the inline skates was
thing definitely worked 100%.
to give it a feel for ice hockey, because I can tell you straight up, like, I've done inline hockey a lot, and growing up on skates, I'm I can go in a straight line and in line. I can play, I can jump in games or whatever. But you watch Tanner and John and these guys.
I can't. Yeah, I still to this day. I know where you're going. I can't. What they're able to do on those wheels,
like it scares me to see.
That's kind of where I was going. It's like I'm terrified. I'm gonna absolutely explode a knee.
I'm gonna explode everything. I'll break every bone in my body trying to do what those guys do, and
it's unbelievable. Yeah,
and it's fast, and these guys are unreal. And we're on ice. You and I would have no thought. Like I'm
more comfortable on ice than I am walking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like we have the confidence in our feet, and in hockey, you'll hear that a lot. Players are confident in their feet and confident on their skates. Where like if you and I are skating down the ice and someone's going to angle us off, we have no problem stopping on a dime and heading the other way and stuff like that. And
maybe these days, but yeah,
I know I'll still stop on a dime. The puck might keep going, but
mine's one of those like novelty dimes that's like this fucking big.
The big like from the circus and stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean we're not playing age anymore, but yeah, I mean these guys are doing that in inline, and I know his product helped a lot of guys with the transition.
Exactly.
And then I think when he tried to bring it to ice, it was almost too much, probably for that. But again, you didn't hear anything bad about it. They were like, "Hey, it's pretty cool," but because remember, who else did that? I think it was you that told me this. Didn't Wayne Gretzky's? Oh, they bent Gretzky's toques.
No, they're Perfecta.
Oh, yeah. I say toques generally as the skate blade holder.
My parents still have. My brother wore them for a little bit. I tried them once. I couldn't deal with it.
They actually flexed and bent, right?
Yeah, they flexed. Yeah. My brother used to wear them. My parents still have a pair of the blue ones in their shop somewhere, which is what Gretzky wore, were the blue ones.
Yeah.
They were funky. They never really caught on, which actually I was surprised they never caught on, not just because they were a Gretzky thing, but the concept was there. I personally didn't like the feel of them. Maybe I don't know if it's because I was a bigger guy and they didn't really work if you were a heavier guy. They almost bent too much.
Yeah.
And I was Gretzky, and I don't mean this, how I'm going to say this. I think you'll understand. He was very light on his feet.
Yeah.
And Gretzky actually isn't a small guy.
No. He's like 6'1".
Yeah. He was light on his feet the way he played. I was not. I was a
Gretzky's Gretzky. He was such a special player.
Yeah.
And Gretzky kept Titan in business for a long time. He kept Jofa in business for a long time.
Did he wear Daouz for a while? Or
maybe I don't know about his skates. But like at the same time, this flexi skate blade holder.
Then late in his career, he got into all the weird shit, doing the Nike and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's because of the money.
I know. Hollywood, man.
Heck yeah, dude. But Janet's like, I want you to do this, and this.
We both went there.
But
oh God.
Hey,
all right.
man.
Anyways,
we're not even hating on him for it. The wife is the boss. Story over. But yeah, so the unfortunate.
We are gonna move on. We are gonna move on from hockey though. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. It's
it's about time we talk about hockey, right?
Just a reminder of you never know what's going on with those around you, and just reach out and make sure everybody's doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And to move on to our next sport here, I have a couple things. I have one thing I didn't write down, but I think we'll finish off with it. But I don't know how much you wanted to really get into the Iranian women's soccer team, because things are changing.
They are changing. I do want to talk about it though, because even though and just so you guys know, John's been super busy, so he hadn't seen what had happened a couple weeks ago until I said, hey, we need to talk about this. And I sent him the story about the 6 players and a staff member from the Iranian.
I think I wrote you back immediately after. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. So 6 players and a staffer from the Iranian women's soccer team. And this was like straight out of James Bond. When you read the whole thing and what had happened, had decided to gain asylum in Australia. They were down in Australia
they were in the application process, right? They were applying for asylum.
Well, yes, but it was going to happen. It had to, because, but again, there's more to this as we'll get to, but at the time it was going to happen because it was Australian authorities that had helped them. And, if you read these stories and hear what had happened, it went so far as to where Australian officials were hiding in closets and hotel rooms. So when the women came in, they would kind of appear and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." And it was just, again, it was straight out of a movie.
And good for the Australian officials to do so much to help.
Yeah. And so
We love you, Australia.
Yeah. And this kind of, the first part of this was even before that. And these women were already getting, I mean, death threats is probably putting it lightly, but definitely getting threats because
Like putting it lightly is exactly.
This tournament, okay, back up even more. This tournament was starting as the U.S. and Israel attacks in Iran were starting. And again, I'm not going to get into the politics of all this. That's not what this is about. Although it's going to obviously sound that way. That's not it. But all this story began almost to the day when the war, let's just call it what it is, started in the Middle East. And the Iranian women's first game, and those of you that we got so many people in Australia and other places that know this, but those that don't, in international soccer, they do the anthems pregame like we do, but they do both teams' anthems before the game. And it's pretty common everywhere in the world to where you'll sing along with the anthem. Well, the Iranian women weren't singing along with it, and they were instantly getting threats from back home, from the government, from everybody. And this kind of kicked off the process here. And so fast forward a bit, I already mentioned there was these 7 members of the team, 6 players and a staffer that kind of were able to escape. And that's just the only way to put it.
Yep.
With the help of Australian authorities and begin the asylum process. Like they were going to get it. The Australians and the Iranians weren't going to go to that extent if they weren't getting asylum. It was happening.
Right.
Yes, there was a process, but the process was kind of moot at that point. It was happening. Well, that was the last message I sent John, a week and a half ago or whatever it was, 2 weeks ago. Since then, the Iranian women have made their way back to Iran, tournament over, and 5 of the 7 are changed their minds and are now back with the team. They met up with the team. I forgot where they actually got back together. I think it was in, I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point where they caught up with the team, but they caught back up with the team on the transit back to Iran. They had to go through Turkey and various other places to get back to Iran.
Because most of the airspace is closed. So
so they went multiple stops, ended up in Turkey, and then from Turkey they took a bus to cross into Iran. So 5 of the original 7, went back and were assured by the government they were going to be welcomed back with open arms, their families, because this was part of the thing. The 7 people, their families were now in danger back home. Their families were going to essentially be done with. And now these 5 are back and they've been assured nothing's going to happen. Who wants to believe that? Again, not for us to say, but
right.
I have my doubts. Anyway, so 2, though, did stay in Australia and are already with an Australian women's club team. And there are images of them already practicing with this club team. So they were able to make it. We bring this up, obviously, because it's the story itself is, like we said, straight out of a movie. But, in our culture and other cultures and all this, we talk about heroes and sacrifice and all this. And what these incredible women, and I would even say the 5 that chose to go back, probably even in some ways the even harder decision than to leave, because now they're on a whole other level of what they're going to deal with when they get back, because they are going to probably have questions to answer when they get back, and maybe more. It's just unbelievably brave and heroic what these women did down in Australia, and knowing what could happen to them, what could happen to their families, and so on. And it's just,
And that's what people got to realize. Like when you make a decision like that, it's not like here in America, you do that and then you just get half the country going, ooh, you suck. And in countries like these that are oppressed, especially as females,
women. Yeah.
That's a statement you're making, and every statement is dangerous. If it's
And by the way, I want
to
to clarify this too. This is not even a religion thing.
no,
This is a government thing. Because if you really, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything in the world there is to know about any religion. I'm not a religious guy, but I know enough to know there's a billion people out there trying to say these women are this and that because of their religion. That's not, it's the government. The religion, women, frankly, are highly respected among the religion itself. It's the government that is the oppressor here. And it's not just Iran. It's plenty of other places.
it's
too.
familiar home base.
I mean,
too,
good God. Let's just put it out there. There's some of that going on here, but we're not going to get into that.
Saying it as
Maybe not to that extent, but there's plenty to talk about here, but we're not going to get into that right now. Even though I know there's some people that wish we would.
I mean, there's a couple news stories that came out here where it's our sports day, so it's not the day for it. But honestly, it's something that I can't even.
I just wanted, because this is a sports slash
Yeah. No, this is
geopolitical
a sport. This is a sports thing
it's a sports
because
thing. It's a geopolitical thing, but to me, as much as anything, it is a true story of bravery.
yeah,
And I mean, it's just the incredible bravery and sacrifice they made, knowing they were leaving everything behind.
Yep.
Their loved ones, knowing that it may not have ended well for their loved ones. I'd be willing to bet mother and father back home are completely on board, knowing what could happen to them, said, go find a better life.
I mean, this was seen in the, I want to say, late '90s with the Russian players defecting from Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget the story about. Sorry to go back to hockey on this, but it's a similar thing. You look at the story. I believe it was Evgeny Malkin had to be smuggled out because the KGB was after him.
I was just listening to something the other day, actually, while I was in St. Louis this past weekend. I forgot who they said. It wasn't Peter Bondra, but it was someone like that. Because the first NHLer, and like you said, to go back to hockey, but it kind of relates to this. The first NHLer to deal with that kind of scenario of having to defect to the U.S., gain asylum, do whatever it was. And you could say just so he could play in the NHL. Well, that's not why. I mean, yes, that's a nice bonus of it.
Yeah.
But it was to, find a better life and not be under a totalitarian regime and things like that. He was actually someone from Czechoslovakia at the time. Obviously now Czech Republic and Slovakia, but it was a Czechoslovakian player, big name player. I just, my brain's not registering.
Maybe it
right
was
now.
Bondra.
It could have been, but someone like that. No, it would have been before Bondra, because it was before the big Russian kind of move over of the famous Russian Five and Detroit and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, was it McGillney?
No,
McGillney's Russian. Oh, because you know what? Because I just typed in like first one to defect for NHL, and McGillney's the first one that pops up. But are you talking about Nedomansky in '74?
No. Oh no, Peter Klima.
Oh yeah,
Peter Klima. So Peter Klima was one of the first to have to go through this process. Now, I say this process because there were Russians, some of those Russians from even the 80 Olympic team, because Larionov was on that team, guys like that were on that team.
Yep.
They were allowed to come play in the NHL, but they were still very much under Russian control and sending all their money back. They didn't keep a dime of what they were making from the NHL.
Well, there was only two teams taking him at the time. It was the Devils and the Red Wings.
Yeah.
And because in Utica, we got a couple of those guys. We got like Kazatonov and a couple of the other, believe it or not, there's a picture of me. I wonder if I have it where I'm taking pictures. I have a CCCP jersey because in spite of everything from the Olympics and hockey and stuff, I admired those players as players.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
And I had a CCCP jersey. And so when they came here, I took my picture because they did the, you go on the ice, take a picture with them.
Back in the day, my stepdad, Todd, years ago, and this was after I mean, this was a long time ago, but after the Cold War, after the fall of, of the Soviet Union, it was just Russia. But there was like a Russia versus U.S. game in Dallas at one point, and I don't remember what precipitated this and all that, but he ended up being kind of the equipment helper for the Russian team. I was kind of a stick kid for the U.S. team, along with a buddy of mine, but he was helping the Russian team. And the one of all the stuff he saw as doing that, the one thing that always kind of stuck with him, that still sticks with me, and even when I was a kid, he told me about it, and I was like, this is crazy. This is how, how little money they had, and how much of a struggle it was for the Russians to do this, even though they were the best in the world. Unbelievable. They recycled their tape.
Really?
End of the game, they wouldn't just, like we do, take the tape off, throw it in the garbage. They would carefully take it and roll it back up, and they would reuse it. Like that's how little they had. They had to recycle. And that seems like a little thing to someone else, but for us as hockey players, that's a massive thing.
Yeah,
they're recycling their tape.
I mean, we have breakdowns if we don't have enough tape.
Oh, the shit I go through with our guys. Can I have some more sock tape? Can I have some more sock tape? No, you can't have more fucking sock tape.
Back then, it was all the same tape. Your stick tape was also your sock tape. The clear tape didn't come around for a while.
They don't even have friction tape anymore. I mean,
I hated friction tape.
I actually kind of liked it. But anyway.
This is a non-intentional diversion off of the Iranian.
No, but it followed the same path, because we're talking about, back in the hockey days we're talking about, it was still under the Soviet Empire. Massive hardships. I mean, we won't even get into what's going on with Russia now, because again, we do our best, generally speaking, to steer clear of that stuff. Some of it you just can't avoid.
But I mean, it just goes to show you, I mean, when it ends in one place, it doesn't mean it's over forever. I mean, because now you have Iranian women's national league team players. I mean, people that are chosen to represent their country.
We had and this is on a smaller level, but still a massive level. The Ukrainian skeleton guy at the Olympics that couldn't compete.
That was a huge miss by the Olympic Committee
because of his helmet.
It wasn't even political. It was
it's just. I do want to go back to these Iranian women, though, because again, it's incredible bravery. The 2 that stayed, and even the 5 that chose to go back, because you can't
blame any of them.
None of us, you and I, and none of us watching this, as much as you think you might, which you can't, can possibly fathom what's going through their minds. In particular, the 5 that made the decision that they needed to go back, and it was mainly I guess we'll never know, because no one's ever going to be able to interview them. And even if you do, you're not going to get the full story. But
if you interview them, it's because they're gone out of Iran for good.
You got to think it's because they didn't want something bad to happen to their family members. And the other 2, like I said, and we'll never know this either, but you got to think, in my mind, this is how I'm picturing it, is all of them, but the other 2 made the decision probably based on support from their family members back home saying, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You have to have a better life for yourself. We will face the consequences. Go make a better life for yourself than what we have here. We wish it was better here, and maybe it will be someday. Right now, it's not.
It's such a double-edged sword too, because like the parents are doing that. Any good parents would encourage their kids to go, but the kids don't want to be responsible if something happens.
Right.
And it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword, and it's a brave decision to even consider it.
Yeah. There's so much to this story that's just, I mean, as I've said multiple times now, it feels like it's straight out of a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
How this all went down, with people hiding in hotel rooms and passing notes and this and that. And it's just.
Do you still have the link for that initial story?
I'm sure it's up here somewhere. I've got Google up right now. I'm sure the original story is still around.
We'll try and dig up the story and put a link of it in the description.
I'll be able to find it with what
So we'll put that link in the description on the YouTube.
The original story and for the more updated story. There's a Reuters story from a day ago that kind of talks about how they're back in Iran.
Well, if it's a Reuters story, it's probably really. I think Reuters has outstanding articles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, even again, I'm not trying to say this. I mean, well, I guess I kind of am, but there's even a really, really good Fox News story about the two that stayed behind. And I don't generally give Fox News a lot of credit, but
there it is. We have it on record.
Whatever. I don't give a shit. I've already said how I feel about the guy in the Oval Office at this point, so it doesn't really matter.
Actually, there's one thing about it's funny you say that. Like so we have the World Cup coming here this year. And the only thing I'm going to say about it is
how.
Huh?
Don't ask me how.
Well, but that's the thing is like, how am I the only one that thinks it's in jeopardy?
I've thought that for a long time now.
Because I mean, when he's sitting there, I can't, this isn't a direct quote. And this isn't even like saying anything about him, but like they were trying to get reassurance that the Iranian teams would be safe coming here. And his response was something along the lines of, I can't guarantee that.
Like, I just don't know along those lines. I don't know why. I mean, frankly, any of them, but definitely certain countries would want to come here.
Japan should be telling us to go F ourselves now.
Yeah, after today.
That her face.
Oh my God.
But
anyways,
yeah, moving on.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go Google it. We're not going to tell you. Just go find it.
Just go online for 5 minutes and you'll see it.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to talk about is baseball and two different things. Obviously, spring training's happening.
And by the way, we're going to have to get into some politics with the baseball thing too.
Well, yeah. You got spring training kicking around right now.
Let's go. Baseball's back.
I love spring training. Me and Cookie always do our pitchers and catchers report day. We always text each other. We've done that for over a decade now. Because again, me and Cookie were both catchers in baseball. So, which makes sense for us because we're the two. We have to be involved in every play.
I think have I told you this? The reason I mean, obviously I love being a catcher, but when I first started, I didn't know what it meant. But they put me in my catcher's gear because I was the only kid out there that had ever looked through a cage before because of hockey.
Yeah.
So I knew how to look through a cage.
Every sport I played, I had to wear a ton of equipment. Like I played football to get in shape for hockey. Then there was hockey. Then there was baseball where I was a catcher. I guess like if there's not enough equipment for me to wear, I guess I wasn't interested in the sport. But yeah, so spring training's happening right now. And then a lot of players, as you saw, had to leave spring training for the World Baseball Classic, which I love this tournament.
I wish I could have watched it.
Yeah.
I don't have access to FS1 and
I didn't get to see a single game of it. Like this is the first year I didn't get to see it.
It sucks because we're about to talk about this and I'm going to talk about it pretty ignorantly other than everything I've read and seen and highlights and all that. But I think the parts of it that we want to talk about didn't necessarily have to see it to know it.
And it's a surprise too, because honestly, the Dominican Republic was the favorite team to win. Yeah. As expected. I mean, they just have a baseball factory out of that country.
I thought Japan would do better.
Yeah, I thought Japan would do better too. However, I loved all the reactions of the guys watching Shohei take batting practice. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where they're just like, and then the other thing, did you see Shohei fix the stance of the one batter and then he just launches a nuke out into like over the fence? Yeah. Like Shohei works with him right before his at bat, and then the guy goes up and hits a home run. But yeah, in an ironic, non-political / political turn of events, the U.S. loses to Venezuela, and Cookie and I pin dropped the whole Venezuela situation.
Let's back up first. Let's back up before we get into that, because to me, there's a much. I mean, that's an amazing story. I don't want to take it away from it. To me, the story of the tournament, which was so special, it made. I don't want to sound cheesy, but I'm going to have to because it really made my heart soar. It was just the most beautiful thing ever. Was the pitcher from Czechia?
Yeah,
Andreas Satoria,
the electrician.
Well, first of all, what a beautiful soul he is. Just an amazing.
And then Japan. Giving him a standing ovation.
And the Tokyo Dome. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, again, just goes to show you why Japan is living light years ahead of the rest of the world.
Like he discovered baseball because of watching Japanese baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And he fell in love with it because of that, from Czechia of all places.
Yeah.
And he, as you said, he's an electrician by day. Like, this is his job. And he went out and pitched the game of his life, striking out Ohtani, making Ohtani look stupid, by the way.
Yeah, Ohtani loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, absolutely. He went, I wanted to make sure I had it up so I didn't get this wrong. So he went 4 2/3 shutout innings against Japan. Shutout innings against Japan.
Against Japan, which is just bats
That's
on
a
balls
powerhouse.
all day.
They're a powerhouse. He's known for a 70 to 80 mile an hour changeup. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, his fastball is not much more. I don't even know why they're calling it a changeup. I think that's his fastball.
He just dragged his toe a little too far on the follow.
I mean, what are we doing here? And that's how he retires from the sport.
To a standing
way to
ovation
go.
at the Tokyo Dome.
To a standing ovation. He gets a bow from his manager as he comes out. He just laughing. And he's got the whole Japanese team after the game wanting a picture with him. And he's just, I agree with people that have said this since it happened. If there's not a statue of that dude in Czechia at some point,
It'll be in front of his shop.
If he doesn't, I think he actually already has received some sort of medal from the government for what he accomplished. I mean, just what a genuinely sweet guy.
Yeah.
To see his reaction to all of
The
this.
smile on his face, clearly, like, it's just not everything he expected. Like, a lot of times you get stories like this, there's the rumbling, and then, like, someone will prepare him to say, hey, expect this at the end.
He had no idea.
No idea. Just completely off guard.
That I never, and again, you and I are both massive baseball guys. I love baseball. It's baseball's a passion of mine. Hockey is my life, but baseball is a passion of mine. I love everything about it. And I can get into the weeds on baseball. I never, in a weird way, I never quite got the quote in Moneyball until now.
How can you not
hard
be,
to be romantic about baseball until this story. And then I went, yep, that's it. That's the one right there. That's the story where I go, yep. Because there's some amazing stories. We've seen them all. We've seen the amazing stories in baseball.
Yeah.
You know, even before decades before you and I were born, and there's, Lou Gehrig giving the famous speech, after he was diagnosed, and there's just beautiful moments. There's shitty moments too, but there's beautiful moments. But that right there is the definition of how can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yep. Yeah. And before anybody also chimes in, I do know there's a lot of inaccuracies in Moneyball with characters.
Yeah.
And it's about true events, but they had to build a story around it. Because to be honest with you, no one wants to watch a 2-hour movie about numbers.
No.
But yeah, that thing is true. And then the guy they were talking about at the end of it, who's the player they're watching when he was in the minors?
Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, Youkilis and his wacky bet.
Kevin Youkilis ended up winning World Series with Boston.
Yeah, and I mean, it's moments like that with this pitcher is just so cool. And again, it wasn't the takeaway.
I know what you're talking about. It wasn't Youkilis. It was the bigger,
the big guy hit the home run and he didn't know.
Guy that hit the home run that didn't realize he had actually hit the home run. Okay.
Yeah, no, they were having issues at Youkilis, like not.
They were talking about Youkilis being like a walk machine because he could see the ball. So okay, sorry, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Sorry, Youkilis. I didn't mean to compare you to the guy that was.
But that guy hitting, and like how all the other players in the field are cheering him on, like that was a real video.
Yeah, that's real video. Just like this story, like the Japanese players were cheering this guy on.
That's just that. Baseball's a weird sport because you look at sports like hockey, football, basketball, soccer. It's a team sport, and you have to be a team. Baseball's a team sport where you are 9 individuals, and you have to be the star individually.
Yeah.
And everything happens one at a time. You know, in baseball, nothing happens until ball leaves pitcher's hand.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens until either bat on ball or until the ball hits the catcher. And if that catcher loses the ball, it's a different play. It's a billion different things that can happen. But baseball is, well, while everyone, again, we always talk about the community of hockey and the family of hockey. Baseball is just its own machine. And I did love playing it growing up. I have my, as we've talked on the show before, my issues that took me out of baseball. And it wasn't, I didn't stop playing baseball because of injuries or anything. It was just bad experience, but I still love it. One of my favorite things to do, because let's just be honest, I'm not the guy in the gym lifting weights every day. I love going to the batting cage. Batting cage is a fun workout, actually. Let me tell you, I haven't been to the batting cage in a while. So when I go, I'll make a video of it. I'll make a video of me in the batting cage, and I'm going to make a video of me screaming for my life the next morning because every muscle in my body's going to hurt. But baseball,
I would not be making a video of me in the batting cage because I won't make contact a single time.
Dude, you don't have to go into the 90-mile-an-hour pitch cage.
I'll go into the fucking softball one and not make contact.
I don't know, Cookie. I think you still got it in you. Can you still take one-timers at all in hockey?
I thought we talked about this. This is the ironic part. I was a damn good hitter in baseball. I sucked at one-tees.
Really?
I could never quite get the timing right on a one-timer.
Let me ask you a question. Is it because in hockey we were taught to shoot with our head up?
Yeah.
And one-timer, you can't shoot with your head up.
No.
You have to trust the lane is there, or you hope to have to hurt somebody. Yeah. Or were you trying to shoot with your head up on a one-timer?
It didn't matter either way, whether I was trying to do that or not. It didn't matter. I never in my entire career, and I was a goal scorer. I could put the puck in the net. I was a talented player. For whatever reason, that was like the one thing. There's a lot I could do right. That was the one thing, and it never made sense to me. It never made sense to any of my coaches, my parents, anybody, because I was a good hitter in baseball. But for whatever reason, I could never quite figure out the timing in taking a one-timer in hockey. And it's just, my hockey friends are going to watch this and think I'm a complete idiot. And they're right. I'm an idiot. It doesn't make any sense.
They're right. It makes no sense because let me tell you, in practice, I scored a ton of sweet one-timer goals. But in the games I played, they would love feeding me a one-timer super slow, so it would turn into an interception.
Rare times I connected, it was an absolute piss missile. But 99% of the time, and I fully admit this, it was either off the heel, it was off the toe, it was something.
That's funny.
It was weird. I could never quite figure it out.
Well, then, Cookie, I stand corrected, man. I got no argument about you going to the batting cages now.
No, it's one of those things I'm not ashamed to admit. Well, I'm ashamed, but I'm not ashamed to admit it because it's something that should not have been an issue with me that always was an issue with me.
We'll have to do. I'll have to make my batting cage video, and then as retribution, I'll go golfing with Cookie, and then you can just watch how awful that whole scenario is. I'm
awful now too. I don't play much. When you were having troubles with the technical issues earlier, I was moving. Well, this was on TikTok, so it wasn't on here. But I was showing my golf clubs are back here, and I haven't touched them in probably 2 years, other than to move them in here.
Dude, I don't even own clubs. Remember the last clubs? I told you the story. The last
Jeremy has my old ones. Jeremy's got my old set.
Oh, see, the last set of clubs I ever owned are sitting at the bottom of that lake in the St. Catharines Country Club from when I was 19 or 20 years old when I was playing juniors. Yeah. So that's where my last set of clubs were. The sad part about that, they're clubs my dad gave me. If you start drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning and you suck at a sport, it's not going to go well.
It's golf. All right, we're getting in on time here, but I kind of interrupted you.
Well, honestly, it was,
we do want to talk about the championship game.
Yeah, and I didn't have much to say on it. I love, first of all,
there's irony for sure.
There's irony for sure, but again, I have to relate it back to hockey. This turned into a game more than baseball for Venezuela.
Yeah, and so I've been thinking about how to discuss this, and I'm not going to say, maybe I'll say it to you when we're done recording, and you'll understand why I don't want to say it here, because while I don't mind rocking the boat a little bit and rattling some people, I think what I have to say might be a step too far, but I'll kind of lean towards it more from the Venezuela side is, and that's the playing for your country side of things, and the importance of playing for your country. And not just because with the Venezuela thing, not just because of what has happened with Venezuela recently or for years. I'm talking about any of these other, whether it's South American, Central American, European countries and all that, where the pride, Canadian hockey, like the pride is, and we like to talk about that here. This is where I'm trying to skirt around a little bit. We like to talk about it here, but in some ways it feels a bit manufactured. And not to say we don't have pride in our country. I don't know that I'm always proud of it. I'm happy to be in this country. I understand the opportunities that are here. I'm not always super proud. I think some of these other countries are, because they are, even sports aside, I'm not even talking about from an athletic side of things, they're underdogs just in life. And they fight every day for what they believe their country is about. And you saw that the freaking Venezuelan relief pitcher was in tears before he even threw the last pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was hard.
It's just what they have gone through as a country, and they're not the only ones. We just talked about what's going on in Iran, and it doesn't even have to be a war or anything like that. It's just a country going through any kind of hardship, not even war. Could be a drought, could be anything. And, you know, how they will come together and rally together. We haven't had that since 9/11.
No.
And I don't know at this point when we're ever going to get that again.
Yeah. And I think I said this before too. Like, I think one of my favorite quotes is like, I miss the America we were on September 12th.
100%. I remember getting to go to, and my Aunt Carolyn went with my buddy Brian and I. We went to the first home Cowboys game after 9/11.
I watched it on TV.
I was there. And we've talked about this. I'm not going to pretend to be the most, you know, flag waving patriot. Not that I don't love what this country is supposed to be and what it's trying to be, but I've never kind of been that guy.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That day I felt it.
Yeah.
Because, and like you said, the country we were on September 12th was, you know, it was hard. It was heartbreaking, but we were one.
Yep.
And we haven't been one for a very long time.
Yeah. If you're one of our viewers from outside, and it's sorry to cut you off in here, but it makes me think of that. If you're one of our viewers from outside the United States, on YouTube, you can search a ton of videos that show like the first sporting events after 9/11 and the crowds and what it was like. George Bush throwing out the first pitch at the Yankees game, and Jeter telling him, was like, "You better pitch strike. They'll boo you."
He did.
Yeah,
he damn sure did.
He hummed it in there.
Yeah, he did.
But you know, it was just like things that we needed. And Piazza hitting the home run.
You had the Rangers with Messier putting on the helmet, the firefighter helmet.
I think I heard a cool story about that, by the way. I think one of the firefighters asked him to wear it.
He wasn't. They weren't supposed to approach those guys.
No.
And he said, "When am I going to get this chance again?"
Yeah, I think the guy, a firefighter, asked him to wear the helmet. Yeah, because I think it was of one of the fallen firefighters, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like, "Yeah," and Messier's a Canadian.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the sports world, like it was one of those things where it was just like it was so great and so hard at the same time.
Well, and again, I'll be the first to jump on this as well, but you know, people could say, and they do say, and you give them shit too, what they want about the Dallas Cowboys, and you know, the whole America's team thing is crap. I get it. I think it's stupid, but the people that are there now aren't the ones that gave him that nickname. That happened a long time ago. But to be at the Dallas Cowboys game, who were they playing? I don't even remember who they're playing. As one of the first, it was one of those, like you said, one of those first sporting events.
Yep. After
9/11, and to be there, and no word of a lie, even walking in there, because this game happened. I mean, we're talking a few weeks after. I don't remember the exact timeline at this point, but there was trepidation even walking into the stadium.
I mean,
again,
security was through the
Dallas
roof.
Cowboys, put aside your personal feelings about the team and all that, they are one of, if not the most recognizable sporting franchises in the world, representing very American sport. And
they played the Redskins. They played the Washington Redskins, which adds a whole new layer of heaviness to that because of the Pentagon being attacked.
I would be lying if when we were walking through the parking lot to the stadium, there wasn't kind of this feeling of
what's going to happen.
Be here.
Yeah.
Like, is something going to happen in this stadium today?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with football, and it's going to be bad. Like, I mean, as they put it at the time, it was a target.
Everybody was nervous. I mean, until then, like the country had went through obviously the '93 World Trade Center bombing, which was a small. I say small. It was a pretty impactful bomb in the basement of the World Trade Center, and then obviously Oklahoma City was devastating.
And I had friends that felt that. Like physically felt the explosion.
Yeah, and then I think before that, I mean, obviously there's other things that happened, but before then, I mean, country hadn't been through something like that since Pearl Harbor, and the world was already at war at that point. Like for us in 9/11, nothing was really happening. I mean, there was conflicts, there was tension.
Nothing on our soil to that extent.
Yeah, no. And then, so I think a big thing about it now, and I think why there's such a shift in the mentality of it now, is a lot of the people who have the biggest voices were not even alive for that event.
Yeah.
And it makes a world of difference because they're yet to experience something like that. They've experienced.
I hope they don't.
I hope they don't either. They've obviously the Paris terror attacks, the UK terror attacks, and then like the different ones stopped here. They've saw and seen about it. And obviously
when you go through, and I've done this once, I'm going to do it again. When you look back, I was born in 76. You were born in what?
78.
78. Okay. When you go back and think, even when we were too young to know what was going on, but go back and think of the things we've been alive for.
Yeah.
And I mean, imagine what our parents can do too in that scenario. But even just us, we didn't live through the first two world wars and Korea and Vietnam and all that, although, it wasn't too far, from Vietnam.
We weren't too far removed from Vietnam.
But I mean, we're talking the major events in our lifetime, Challenger explosion, things like that. I remember exactly where I was when the Challenger exploded.
I was in school. We watched it on TV.
I was in elementary school sitting, and they called them kivas. You know what a kiva is?
No.
It's a Native American thing, but it's this little sunken area in our elementary school, is a little kind of sunken area where, we would always go to have book readings or something.
Kind of like a commune thing, like a small,
just a
like a gathering.
Yeah, it was kind of a gathering area, but it was like you went down a few steps, and it was like, they called it.
Actually, I know those were very, very big in the houses built in the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were all there watching the TV as it happened.
Yep.
I remember exactly where I was. And then, you have that. You
were probably in what, 5th or 6th grade? Because I think I was in like 2nd grade.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I just remember being
Cookie was his freshman in college.
Shut up. And then, I mean, hell, I'm fairly certain, and this isn't me, I'm talking about my aunt. I don't think my dad was. Fairly certain my aunt was a student at the University of Texas when the tower shooting happened.
Oh, I remember seeing a thing about that.
The sniper on in the tower at the University of Texas in Austin. I think my aunt was a student at the time. And obviously, as we, maybe we'll have this story sometime, but.
You talking about JFK?
We got to go there, man.
I mean, I was born on that day.
Maybe we've already talked about it on here because I feel like we might have.
I think we pin dropped at it as well. Like,
I have
talking about my birthday.
And Fed watching, not that kind of connection, but there is a family connection to the JFK assassination in that if you go back and watch old footage of when Officer Tippit was killed by Oswald, J.D. Tippit, you'll see footage of a stop sign laying on the ground. That stop sign is laying on the ground because my mother and her boyfriend at the time that morning got into an accident and ran that stop sign over that morning.
Which is too funny.
I mean,
So
what are you gonna
wow.
do, man?
We never, I don't think that, I think that's the first time you've actually told what it was, because we're talking about, I think it was around making fun of birthdays and stuff. Cause my
And
birthday,
I have that photo somewhere.
yeah,
I showed it
I've
to
seen
you.
it.
Yeah, I've shown it to you. There's a photo of that stop sign laying on the ground. That
Yep.
was
Cause my birthday is November 22nd. I was born 15 years after that had happened.
yeah. So that's yeah. There's a
I think I told you,
very-
my mom was like, isn't it weird both your names are John? I'm like, you named me. No.
yeah. It's a very kind of random family connection.
Yeah,
to
that's,
one of the worst days in American history.
I've not only seen the picture, but after I saw the picture, like I've always, obviously because of my weird connection to the day, I've watched a lot of stuff on it. Like they have video of them driving by and you can clearly see
The stop sign laying on the ground.
it's down. Yep. And I remember when I used to perform it at the 10, it was right on, around the corner from there. And from where the actual assassination took place.
Right.
And I always found that was such a weird thing driving through there because it looks exactly the same in that spot.
And I mean, I find, and I get it. It's a historic site at this point, but the fact that they have like X's painted on the street where
that part's weird. I went and stood on those like a lot of
and-
other tourists do, but
oh yeah, Dealey Plaza still looks essentially the same.
I mean, it looks the same on that side. What's that road? So you have the road he was driving on, and then you have that other main road that crosses in front of the book depository.
There's Elm Street and I forgot the other one, but
whatever that road is where you go from 63 to modern times. Because like that road in Daily Plaza all looks the same, and then everything the other direction of that is.
The highway bridges are essentially the same. I think there's one new one since then, but that's about it. And the grassy knoll is still
the same.
Still the same. I mean, it's
it's kind of a crazy thing, but I mean, again, this is kind of the point I was making. It's like so many of these people now that have these platforms, whether it's on social media or whatever, even a lot of the newer news anchors and stuff like that are either were not alive for 9/11 or they were babies.
And I'll say this, and John will agree. We're not trying to be those guys saying, "Oh, you're too young to have gone through this." We're saying we hope you don't.
And it's why it's hard for them to connect.
I hope you don't have to go through Desert Storm or Desert Shield, but you're going through a Gulf War right now, and it's terrible, and it sucks. And I was just about, you were too. You and I, when that was happening, were just about the age where we probably had to both. I don't know about you, but I'll say I had to think about whether or not do I need to go enlist at this point. I was at the age where, as that's happening, and there's some people that probably would say I should have if I was going to do my, my civic duty.
The first one, I think I was in like 6th grade.
No, I'm talking about the second one with George W.
Yeah. I actually did. I actually went to the recruiters, was looking to enlist. And I'll be honest with you.
It was after 9/11 is when the first time in my life I actually had the thought about maybe I need to think about this.
Like I went to look to an enlist, and I'll be honest with you. For me, it wasn't like I need to fight for my country. It wasn't a patriotic thing. I was in my early 20s, and I needed to get my fucking life together.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time I was looking at life saying, okay, clearly I'm not going to play hockey.
Well, I'm the first male in my family that did not serve. And, I don't say that as a negative. I don't say that as a positive. I mean, I very easily could have. There's an argument to be made that maybe I should have, but I just didn't. And
in your defense, I mean, you were growing up. I mean, pro hockey was absolutely on your radar.
Well, and at that point, I'd already done it by 9/11 because I retired in 99 and 9/11 happened 2 years later.
Yeah. But I mean, just, before then you weren't thinking about it.
No. Well, there was no need to, because like you said, when the first Gulf War happened, we were too young.
Yeah. You were probably like just starting junior high, I think.
When the second one happened, I was definitely in that age where I could have. And I it's probably the first time I've admitted it publicly. I thought about it, but then I thought more about yes, I was like everybody angered, saddened, and all about what happened. But and when you kind of sit back and watch the other side of it with how things were handled and the lies that were being told about certain things, I was like, yeah, I don't think I want a part of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people now that you like that are around that are even like, I hate you. I'm not going to call them influencers. They're people on social media that have a good platform and they talk about political issues. I send you a bunch of these different people. One in particular
and they are, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of those that you're referring to are influencers.
Yeah. I the negative.
I mean, I know what you
connotation of
mean, but yeah, you don't necessarily want them to be influencers, but they are.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the guys is actually a Northern Virginia based guy, which I didn't know. But he served in the military. And it's pretty funny when he starts calling people out for their things. But
no, like I said, I didn't serve, and it has nothing to do with a lack of pride in those that did. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm wearing my Freedom Flavors hat right now because I'm very honored to know Tommy and proud of his service. And
it's delicious beef jerky.
And it's delicious beef jerky.
You know what's funny is I say funny. This, by the way, and I'm sure Cookie would have caught on to this any second. This our dip into stuff that happened here in America and the whole pride through sports and representing your country is not to say, oh, Venezuela won, good job, guys. Let's talk about us. We got off on our tangent, and really it comes down to saying how we in a weird way, can connect and understand what it is about playing a game for your country that means more than just the game itself and more than the sport. So when Venezuela wins this championship, and I'm only going into this because I feel like we got too far off the path.
Yeah.
So when Venezuela wins this championship and the emotions you see, again, we didn't get to watch the games, unfortunately. Yeah. But when you see the highlights and you see the celebration and everything, you're not just looking at guys happy they won a baseball game. You're looking at guys that are ecstatic that they accomplished.
They know what it means for the people back home.
Yeah, and it's huge. And listen, Venezuela is not like some surprise Cinderella story in baseball.
No,
Venezuela is always very good. You go look at the Little League World Series; they're always there.
Yeah.
But to be at this level and playing against players like Aaron Judge, and winning a championship for a country that's not very big, that's a mega. And again, like you said, when you have the Dominican Republic and Japan and the United States in this tournament to come out as the winner of that means something to the players, obviously, but what it means to them for their country is immeasurable.
Well, and just and this is kind of what, to bring it back to the beginning of the conversation with what I went through last weekend or this past weekend in St. Louis this also is a prime example of what a tournament like this can do. It's a one and done situation. And a lot of the U.S. guys, and I don't want to get in because we could be here forever talking about this, and we're already been here a while. I'm not going to get into the whole conversation about MLB teams telling the various countries' managers that my guy can't pitch unless it's a save situation. My guy can't do this and that. I don't want to get into that because I will lose my fucking mind. And I've had, as we've talked about before, I've had my issues with the Olympic scenario and what happened. But one thing I won't take away from any of the teams in the hockey Olympics is the fact that they put everything on the line. They weren't worried about injuries because they happened. There's guys not finishing their NHL seasons right now because of what happened in the Olympics.
Yep, Crosby just came back.
And, when I've got MLB teams saying my pitcher, my closer can only come in the game if it's a save situation, not a tie game to try and win it. My guy don't even play him, this and that. Or even players themselves taking themselves out of the mix. Like, fuck right off. That's the part of this tournament that pissed me off. Yeah. The tournament itself is cool. I love the concept of the World Baseball Classic. It's amazing. I love that they do it. That part of it pisses me off, and this is coming from a hockey guy, so I will go back to the bias. Like, fuck you, because those guys mid-season, stopped their NHL season to go represent their country. And again, we've had that conversation. We're not going to dig that up again. But put that conversation aside, and just from a pure hockey standpoint, they put everything on the line. They didn't give a shit if they were going to get hurt. They were there to fucking win.
They were excited to do it too.
They were there to win.
Yep.
And you know, we talked about Jack Hughes wanting the puck and all that. We've covered that. Jack Hughes is missing half his teeth right now because of what happened, and he went and scores the game winner. And I got fucking pitchers saying they're not going to go throw right now because they might ruin their. Fuck you, man.
Yeah. Don't be on the team then.
Yeah, don't go. Someone else will do it. There's college guys out there that would kill to be a part of that.
You had an electrician in this tournament.
Yes.
And he struck out Ohtani.
That guy makes nothing. I mean, I know electricians make good money, but he's in Czechia. He's probably not making shit. He's doing it for the, I mean, not to get all cheesy and cliche. He's literally doing it for the love of the fucking game.
Yeah. Yep.
And is now a fucking hero in his country. He's a hero to me, for crying out loud. The guy's a legend, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me this crap about, ooh, he's our closer. We can't. Fuck you, man. These guys don't pitch enough anyways. Go back to the days of fucking Noel and Ryan, and even before that, where they'd, you know, go out and throw complete games constantly. No one complete game records are never going to be broken.
What do they have now? Like a 90 pitch limit or something like that?
So stupid, man. They're all on pitch counts now. Fuck you.
I mean, they're on pitch counts.
You're not gonna have strong arms and arms that can last if you're pitch counting them. You're just not. And I'm not an expert. I get it. I'm not an expert, but common sense tells you you're not.
But baseball is one of the sports that, like, you look at the just the equipment alone of hockey and baseball, had the evolution of the game and how fast it is and stuff like that. Granted, the technology of making baseball bats and baseball mitts and gloves has changed a little, but that's about it. Baseballs are made the same, and the sport is essentially the same.
I just couldn't understand, because I heard this conversation on the radio yesterday or today. And the guys, by the way, making the conversation were not defending baseball. They were actually going the other direction. But, and then I'm going back to my original point here is, you know, they're talking about concerned about guys getting hurt playing in the World Baseball Classic. A sport that, while you and I both love it to death, is not, well, compared, as we're comparing it to hockey, not even remotely physical. You go to the Olympics and these guys are beating the ever-loving shit out of each other.
I mean, they play 162 games in a season.
As much as you and I talk, I don't like the Kachuk brothers. They will hit everything that breathes. They're going to hit you, and they're going to hit you again, and they're going to hit you until you just can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm. And they do it like Brady was here. At Brady, we played Ottawa last night, and he puts a body on everything.
He's gonna, and it didn't matter that they were at the Olympics and he knew he had the rest of his regular season to go. It didn't matter.
Nope.
He was there, say what you want, to represent his country, and he wasn't going to let anybody get in the way of that.
No.
Nothing. And neither were the guys on the other side, whether it was Canada, even when Italy got the shit beat out of them, they were still going hard, man. Going hard.
And it's not even a question.
No. There's no doubt. So don't give me this crap about, oh, you're only going to put him in if it's a save situation. Fuck you. If it's a tie game and I got a chance to win it and my best option is to put that guy in, I'm putting that guy in.
Can you imagine who's America's coach?
I don't even know. I don't care.
I can't remember their coach, but can you imagine if he looked down and said, "Hey, Kachucks, listen."
Oh, you're talking about
in the Olympics
hockey team. Oh, it was Sullivan.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine Sully looking down the bench at the Kachucks and be like, "Oh, guys, no. You're going to have to sit the next couple ones out."
Yeah. Sorry. Your coaches have told me.
Maurice called me and said, "I don't want Matt hurt.
Stop hitting people."
Matt would have looked at Sully and laughed.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah. No, Brady wouldn't have even understood the sentence. So
he wouldn't. Yeah, no.
But
don't think.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was great. You see, like, Venezuela and these teams pulling out the stops, man. And I wish. Here's the thing I hate, and I'm going to finish on this. I miss being able to just watch sports games. Like I don't watch a lot of football in the season. I used to love watching the Super Bowl.
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
And everybody had, back in the day, it was like, oh, I don't have cable because I didn't want to pay for it. But you still got to watch big games because you still had your free Fox, CBS, and ABC, and there's like one or two others. And then you wanted premium cable, you paid for it. But like people paid humongous dollars for advertising, especially in these games, because they knew everybody was going to see it. Now I have Netflix, Hulu, Prime. If I had a game, so I would have paid another $20 for Flow Hockey to watch your guys' game. I have to pay for when the Capitals are on the road. I pay $20 a month for Monumental to watch the games because I'm in the DC area. I can't watch it on Hulu.
Yeah, no, it's I'm glad you brought this up because I was frustrated. I was excited to watch these baseball games, and then I saw what they were on. I was like, I can't watch them.
Yeah,
and I'm not spending. I don't make enough. I'm a volunteer hockey coach. We've had that conversation. It fucking sucks. I'm a volunteer hockey coach, and I deliver auto parts during the day. I don't make enough to buy another subscription. I just paid for, and I didn't want to, but I'm a massive Formula One fan. So I went ahead and paid for the Apple TV thing so I could watch Formula One races this year, which, by the way, based on what's going on in the Middle East, 2 of the races have already been canceled.
Yep.
But I'm not paying for another one just so I can watch these baseball games. I got an ESPN Plus subscription, so once the regular season starts, I can watch a handful of games there. Not a lot, but enough. I'm not buying another MLB. I had MLB in the past. I'm not doing it again. As much as I love the Rangers, I find I don't watch enough of the games to make it worthwhile. Because
you look at it like you look at like premium cable back in the day. We're talking if you wanted HBO and Cinemax.
When I grew up, we had one of the big dishes in my backyard. The giant ones. That you had to you were literally having to program it to hit a fucking satellite in space.
Yeah, I didn't have the dish. We just had the regular cable at the cable boxes and stuff. And like we had HBO and Cinemax and like the movie channels and stuff. And I mean, you can't compare it to when we were younger just because of inflation and pricing and technology and stuff. But even now, like if it was about, you'd be looking at spending, like if I were to go to Verizon right now and try and get cable, I got to spend like, I think $130, $140 a month to get all the stuff I want. Yeah. But then I also have to pay for I still have to pay.
Well, that's what I say. At least then it's all in one place.
Yeah. Like now it's just like.
Now it's everywhere. Like,
the benefit of streaming, sure. I can go and watch a movie whenever I want. I can stop it in the middle, come back and watch it the next day.
Yeah.
No problem. Before you had to hope it was going to be on an HBO that month or whatever. But that's not even where my beef is watching these sports games or watching these special events, whether they be a political event or a news something. You know, now we go to Lookner on YouTube for free and he's giving us.
I don't have a new, because Jeremy and I we still do. We share various subscriptions we have. So he's got my ESPN and something else. I've got a couple of his. We share them.
Yeah.
And he had Sling for a while. So with Sling, I was able to get, certain like kind of cable channels, including news channels. Well, he figured out he wasn't using Sling a lot. I was probably using it more than him. And so, and I have no problem with this because he was the one paying for it. He got rid of it to get something else.
Yep.
It was cheaper. So now I don't have like news access other than going online, which is fine. I can do that.
Agenda free, baby.
I can do that. I can go see Looker, or I can just go online and look something up. But I don't have the access to go. I mean, I don't do Fox News, but if I wanted to go to MSNBC or CNN or do all that, I don't have that ability anymore.
No,
because again, this is probably a whole other episode because we're almost 2 hours into this now. But I'm with you. The access is ridiculous.
It's frustrating. It's real frustrating.
Yeah. And yes, as sports guys, we want to be able to watch everything. Thankfully, ESPN Plus shows a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. So I can do that. But I didn't get to watch any of this baseball, and I really wanted to.
Yep,
really wanted to.
I looked high and low too, see if there was somewhere else.
Yeah, the only way I could have watched any of it was I have an actual old school antenna sitting in my window to get like Fox, but even that doesn't come through very well.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think the championship game was on Fox. I think it was on FS1.
I think so.
Which is,
I think it was because of the time, because of the time it was on or something like that. So
they had to show like fucking The Masked Singer or some shit instead of U.S. First Venezuela World Baseball Classic. Well, let's get The Masked Singer on though, because we need that. That's important.
Yeah, it's an enormous nightmare and conundrum with it all, and that sucks.
Right off.
But I think that's a good note to kind of wrap her up here. Hour and 53 minutes in. You know, the sports world is never ending, which is why we love doing these. We do have a couple reactions we want to do. Yeah. For probably the next couple episodes on Tuesday, we're going to keep Julie at it. She made a little joke today saying she thinks she's got a new job any day of the week, Julie.
She also messaged me that we are zooming in too much on her face. We're
not doing anything.
And I said, I haven't responded to her yet, but I said, Julie, you're a stunningly beautiful woman. I will zoom in all I want.
It'll be just her eyeball. But yeah, she's doing a great job on those. Yep. And, you know, we could talk to people and kind of what I explained to Julie. We could talk to people about MS all we want. We're going to have the same questions. Yep. And which are important questions. Julie gets those questions out, but then knows the experience of going through these things that builds more of a conversation, which again, with our whole key of what's your story, when it comes,
especially like you said, because apparently there might be someone coming on that's very new.
Yeah, exactly. And I've even reached out to the person and I think she's agreed to do it. We'll just have to find the way to make it happen between them. The very girl who introduced me to this, because her story is still very important. Yeah. And it's crazy because she's 33 or 34 years old now and full-time in a wheelchair. And she lives in Arizona and did all the hiking and the trails. And she was a runner and all this other stuff. I mean, and she's 30. She's young. She's so young. And so, you know, these are stories that are important to get out there. And, you know, obviously the person who introduced me to what this is, clearly her story was impactful enough where I'm not letting it go through everything. So, but you know, with these sports stories, I mean, we got baseball season coming up. There's always new stories happening. And obviously, you know, we're going to be kind of doing a look into this World Cup as it happens. And, I'll be getting to the batting cages soon. Cause if anything, that'll be entertaining.
Well, I want to end on my side with a couple things. One, the obvious is please, and I know nothing cheesy this time, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, our family. I will say that cheesy part because it's funny.
It's not cheesy. It's freaking true, man.
But don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel here. Don't forget, a lot of you are watching this on YouTube. We do have it on Spotify. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, leave us messages, leave us questions. What do you want to see? Especially, what do you want us to react to? We get a lot of that. But I do want to say a couple things. One, and I posted this on our Instagram today. Bradley, who Julie just interviewed, who, damn you, Bradley, you're too fit.
You handsome bastard. Yeah. Oh, I just punched my mic. I just pulled a cookie.
But go to our Instagram, find the story I posted, click on the link, and go vote for him.
Yeah.
And then we will continue. We haven't done it in a bit, but we will. Julie's got some great fundraising things going on for Race for MS. We will post those as well.
Bradley, sorry I didn't share your link thing. We did our episode and I edited it and had a game and.
Bradley, we got you covered, man. We'll make sure we'll get the word out as best we can. So go vote for Bradley. Go to our Instagram and you'll see what we're talking about. And we'll include the link down below as well to go vote for him. And then, it's a cool month for us to be able to, and I behind me, I didn't use the MS ribbon version of the logo, but it is still MS month, MS Awareness Month. And as everybody's figured out right now, we're very much on with trying to do everything we can to help raise the awareness and get a lot of money for research and all that. So,
yep.
Yeah,
And again, we'll be getting information for as far as what we're doing for Wish Cup.
yeah, I'm excited.
And Cookie, I'm going to do this without. We talked about it a little bit before, but I'll just put this out there in case we find somebody that could really be good for this. If you're a person who's great at raising money, yeah, and honestly, like we will pay a commission on it for your efforts, because we have a budget we're trying to reach. I mean, honestly, we could go and do it and get it done, but to make it easier on us and less stressful, we do have a budget that will be for the trip of it.
And again, just as a reminder, because it's been a while since we talked about it, we just want to cover the costs of our travel and food while we're there. Anything above and beyond what we need for that trip, we're not trying to personally make money off this. Anything beyond what we need for the trip, whether it's equipment, travel, food, whatever.
Yeah, cover minor life expenses while we're gone.
Anything beyond that, we're donating right back to the Wish Cup, Make-A-Wish Foundation of Middle Tennessee. So
yep, and it's like I said, it's a cool thing. I'll actually also put a link to the episode where we talked to Kobe, the organizer of this whole event.
Get him back on here pretty soon. Huh?
Yeah, I'm talking about all the time. I'm sure Cookie is too. Like we're excited to get out there for this.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it's Nashville, man. What a cool town.
I'm going to be there about 2 or 3 weeks before Wish Cup for the league meetings.
You're ready for the drama.
I am ready for the drama, but I'm also going to make a side trip over to the facility so I can scope it out. You've been there recently.
Yeah, I didn't get to remember though. I didn't get to.
I know you didn't spend a ton of. Yeah, I'm going to head over there and just kind of take a walk around and figure out what our setup's going to be and look like, and then take some pictures so I can send them to you so we know.
Maybe you can ask them too, kind of like what they're going to do, because I mean, there's 2 sheets in there.
It's going to be close enough to the time frame that, in fact, maybe and we can talk about this off camera, but maybe I'll try and connect with Colby over there and meet him over there and just say, hey, let's, where do you want us and what can we do to help?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little bit more of a plan on that, but Nashville's going to be a good time. We're going to be live a lot there, and then obviously we'll be releasing the episodes later.
Still trying to, and I say trying, it's probably not that hard to do, but I don't want to totally intrude on his life, but going to work on getting Klein to come out with us.
Klein's going to be our pretty lady by the rinks. So, but yeah, we appreciate all the views. We appreciate everybody watching. We're still having a blast doing this. I know Cookie had a rough week after nationals. Like I was almost a little afraid to message him today, but
well, it's been a little. We had hoped to be, and we are in some ways, not always, more organized for season 2 of this, and be a little more structured. And it's just, as John said earlier, the way this part of the season for both of us. Now my season's over, so things open up. But
mine's on the way.
This part of the season's a little more rough for us right now. So, but we'll get a little more structured and making sure we're hitting the days we claimed were, and we do promise the music thing is happening.
Yeah. In fact, I have someone to reach out to. I believe is a photographer for concerts, and we did have Meg do a couple reactions to a couple songs. We just, on top of it being quality stuff, like Megan's reactions were great. It was cool. The videos came out cool. We just also want to make sure we're not breaking any copyright rules and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more involved.
That's more of a learning curve for us than even the rest of it was.
Yeah, maybe we can get Frankus on here to talk a little music with some people.
Let's go, Frankus.
And
he's happy now. Sid's back.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's been posting about it. Yeah. But yeah, so we appreciate everybody for sure. Like Cookie says, like, subscribe, comment, engage, tell your friends and our families. Like I fill with rage when I say that. So.
And by the way, we've said this many times, and I promise this is the last thing I'm going to say. And the reason I brought it up is because we do want to put at some point on merch, we're going to put tell your friends and our family. But the merch thing is happening. We've said this so many times. I promise it's happening.
He sent me a sample of the shirt, you son of a bitch. But it's hilarious.
I'm gonna be in Texas in a couple weeks to go see my family who's doing this stuff. My mom sent me a picture of one of the shirts that's already done. It looks awesome.
It's awesome.
And
But I
so
fucking
we
hate
will
you
have
for it.
that eventually, including an online store. That's one of the reasons I'm going to Texas, not just to see mom, which obviously we
Gotta go see Bobby Joe, baby.
Got to go see Bobby, and it's Bobby Lois. But
I know,
anyway,
but I was just putting a southern twist on it.
but we the other part of that is helping set up an online store while I'm down there. So yeah, we'll get that. Finally gonna get that done. But yes, it looks awesome and it's funny.
Screw you, Cookie.
By the
Honestly.
way, freedomflavorsusa.com as well. Go use the discount code AAP. Get you some awesome beef jerky.
You want me to go take a nap while you list a couple more links, or
No, I'm done. We're good. I mean,
I'm just kidding. Actually, we appreciate all the
My
people we
drinks are
spoke
empty.
to.
We're good.
Oh, well, yeah, he's done. So we appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.